What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here. Today we're talking about how almost 3D like. It's super awesome. Vomit. Everybody, Peter McKinnon here. Today we're talking about how. What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here. 3D. It's I'll be the first to say, standing in front of like please. What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here. Today we're talking about how you can take photos that you've already taken within Photoshop, bring them into life, making them almost 3D like. It's super.
What's up, everybody? Ding. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here. Welcome back to yet another video. What's up, everybody? Yes! Woo! What's in my pockets? What's in my pockets? What's in my pockets? Yeah.
The process for all the sounds and instruments was pretty much the same. I loaded a sample that I got from the video into the standard sampler from Logic. I looked for a part that I wanted to use to create a specific sound. I looped this part and then I played around with the attack, decay, release and sustain time to get the sample where I want it to be, and then I shaped it with an equalizer, a compressor, some distortion, and I added some effects like reverbs and delays. And that's pretty much it. So let's get into it with the kick drum first. The kick drum is made up of two parts, the top kick and the bottom kick. And they both use the What's Up number 4 sample. So I used the initial punch. It has a very short release time and a very short decay time, so that it's really just the initial attack. This is the lower part. And in the beginning there is a low cut on the entire kick, so it doesn't has that much punch, but when I play it after the intro you can hear the low end kicking in. The snare drum is also made up of two parts, the punch and the noise part. The punch is also a What's Up, but this time I chose a different one, the number 3, and it also has the attacky part, but it has 100% sustain part, because I wanted really a lot from the sample, and not just the punch in the beginning, but also some of the grit here. And it still has a pretty short release time, because the release comes from the snare noise here. Let me just open up the sample so that we can hear how it would sound in its entirety, to get a feeling of where it's coming from.
What's up, everybody?
So very distorted. I've added an equalizer to shape the sound, an expander, a clip distortion, and another equalizer that is for a low cut that is automated in the break part. Then the noise from the snare punch is actually the sniffing sample, but in reverse. So if I play it, you can see that it's playing from the back to the beginning. Together they sound like this. Then the hi-hat, I've got a closed one and an open one. The closed one is also the sniffing sound in reverse, but it has a very short decay time and a very short release time. The open hi-hat also is made from the sniff sound in reverse, but it has a longer decay time and a longer release time, so that we've got the crash feeling. Let's listen to it real quick. So there we've got more from the sound, and I've added a few more high frequencies. I've boosted them here, and I distorted them as well, and put an expander on there as well. Now, the most fun part of it all, the guitars. So when I decided to make this video, I wanted to put some guitars in here, and I also wanted to put some electronic music in there, because I think that that's the two parts of Peter's videos. There's this rock part, but also the electronic part in his B-rolls, and I wanted to try to combine them both into one song. And yeah, it was a challenge to create a guitar sound out of his voice, but I think I came pretty close to a good sounding guitar. I mean, I'm not playing any solos on here, just a few power chords, but that's enough. If you don't know that it's his voice, I think you wouldn't notice that it's maybe not a real guitar. Okay, let's see. I've got two guitar parts, and I panned one to the left and one to the right. So this is the first one. This one is made from the Yeah sample. Let me play the entire sample, or let me play it with all the effects on it. So the way it works is that the note, when I play the note, it starts here and it gets to the end here. And when it loops, it doesn't start right in the beginning, it starts over here. So it goes to the end, and then it loops endlessly as long as I hold the note. And in that way, I can get a pretty sustained and long note out of that. And the entire sample sounds like this. Let's see. Okay, let me turn down the amplifier here. So the second guitar is also made up of the Yeah sample, but I took a different part from the sample to just have a little bit more difference between the two sounds, and I've also used a different amplifier for this sound. So if I play them together, they sound pretty nice and wild. Well, for the bass, I also wanted to use the yeah sample, but then I thought, why not try just a few different samples? Maybe there's something better in there, and I found something better. Let me play the bass soloed. And the sound I've used is the ding sound. So let me disable the effects and play you the entire sample. So like that. And this is the sound.
Ding, ding, ding.
I wanted to have a bit of a tag in the beginning, so somewhere here. And then I looped the end so that it's continually playing the same note. And that sounds like this. And if you put it a few octaves down, and then I've added an equalizer to get rid of the higher frequencies because I don't really need them for the bass sound, and a bass amplifier, clip distortion, and a compressor for sidechaining. And I ended up with this really cool bass sound. So in addition to the, in quotes, real instruments like guitar, and I wanted to go for a real drum kit, I also wanted to have a really synthesizer-based sound that is leading into the second part where I wanted to go more into dance music. And for that, I've used a really, really small part of the hua sample, just this little bit here that is almost a perfect sawtooth, and it sounds like this. And I added an ensemble effect to get a few more voices out of the single one that I had. So without it, it sounds like this. And with the ensemble effect, it sounds like this. A bit more wider and a few more voices. This lead sound plays along with the guitars and the bass and the drums, and it also plays in the break part where another synthesizer starts playing the bells. This one is created with the long ooh sound, and I just took a part in the middle where it's consistent and I don't have too many background noises, and I looped it and added a delay and some reverb to make it a bit more spatial. Pretty nice sound. Also in the break, I've got a pad sound, which sounds like this. This one is actually very very funny because I didn't thought that I would get something out of this sample. It's this yeah sample. Let me disable the effects so that we can hear it without them. And I took a part in the middle where it's consistent pitch almost, and I just looped it. And it sounds like this. It's a bit rough, you can hear the looping, and to make it a bit more smooth, I added a lot of reverb and delay. And then it sounds like this. It's better, and if you play chords with it, you can barely hear that there is something looping. It just sounds like a really nice pad. So after the break, there is this electronic part, this breakbeat coming in. And what's new here is the kick. So we've got this kick drum here. And this one is made from the oomph sound, which sounds like this. Okay, let's get rid of the effects. The pop snare is one of the sounds in this sequence where he makes a bunch of different sounds, and I just used this and distorted it a little bit, just a bit of EQ, just like on every sound, just a bit of EQ, some distortion, some compression, and that's it. And then we've got, also from this sequence, this little beatbox loop. Which was pretty much good as it is. I just time stretched it a little bit to get it on the beat, and then that's that. And together it sounds like this. So that's it for all the instruments. Let's take a look at the sound effects. That's pretty simple as well. The first one is this coffee riser. Slowly fading in. This is actually a sample that I didn't play it in the beginning. One of the videos started with him sipping his coffee, and I just took that part and looped it, and then I automated the pitch so that the pitch goes from down to up, and also the volume fades in. I put it everywhere where I wanted to lead into a new part of the song. So it's here where the drum starts, then here where it leads into the break part, then from the break part to this little pre-break to the dance part, and then at the end leading into the outro. And the sniffing sound is also doing the same job. It's leading into new parts. And the woo sound I've used for just an accent whenever a new part begins. Here where the drum and the guitar and the bass start to play together, I added this woo to lead into that and also into the break. And that's pretty much it. I also have this loop down here, the what's in my pocket sound. So I tried to incorporate it somewhere in the song, but it just wouldn't fit, so it's muted down here. But that's pretty much it. It was a lot of fun to do this. I wanted to do it for a long time, and I'm happy that I finally did it. I hope it was entertaining for you, and maybe you got inspired to do something like that as well. I will definitely make more of these because I have some nice ideas that I want to try out. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one.